Welcome back to Surface Unscripted, episode 108. As always, people, we love and appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your love and support. Please do remember to like and subscribe. It's only myself and Brett. Brevan is dealing with some personal stuff at home, so we send him our best wishes. Brett, rugby championship starting next weekend. How are you feeling about it going into it? Obviously, you didn't join the previous episode. I just want to ask you a question. Me and Brevan came to the conclusion where it was, we believe South Africa is the favorites, and it's time for us to step up, finally leave the underdog story behind and step into and almost take this favorites thing and put it on our shoulders and carry it for a bit. What do you think about that?
I completely agree. We're the only team that has not got new coaching. We're the only team that has most of our World Cup winners available. Well, a lot of them. Now we have a few injuries, obviously. But we're the only one that has built enough continuity to go forward in this competition. And if it's going to be another experimental tour or whatever like that, then I'm going to be very pissed off because we know that Rassi likes to do that. But this time I feel we have to win this competition.
Yeah, I mentioned it to Brevan, and obviously we'll get into our predicted lineup, which is the actual video for today. But I just want to continue on this discussion for a little bit. We've always had this little caveat over us where it's like, okay, well, is South Africa only a World Cup team? Because if you look at the silverware over the years, we've got the World Cups, but we don't have the Rugby Championship to show for it, really. Like, I think New Zealand's got about 20 and we have 4. That is... Yeah. We've got the same amount of rugby championships as World Cups, and we play in the rugby championship literally each and every year. So I'm tired also, I agree with you, of this experimentation thing. How about we actually just go for the rugby championship each and every year instead of experimenting? Like, you can always bring through new players, but still push for the rugby championship. How do you think New Zealand has dominated sport for so long? Not with the same players.
Yeah, for sure. Because we don't even, if we play against Australia, there's the Freedom Cup, or is it against New Zealand? There's the Freedom Cup, the Nelson Mandela Cup, all these cups that we pretty much started that we're not even the holders of it. So South Africa's got all these opportunities to fill the trophy cabinet. Now there's just that one lone little World Cup trophy. Yes, obviously that's the be all and end all and the pinnacle of rugby, but what's the point of having a trophy cabinet and not just a trophy mantle?
Yeah, fully agree. So it's not like we're tired of it all, but we are upping the standards now. We've seen how successful this team can be, but we want to actually become world dominance where it's like we don't have a 60% win record. I want to have us push for 70, for 75, 80, 85% win record. Where we go to teams and it's like, oh shit, okay, we're playing against the Springboks. I kind of want this team to carry a bit of aura, not where it's like, oh, okay, it's rotational, it's experimental, they're going for the next World Cup or anything like that. As you mentioned, this is our best chance. I won't accept anything other than a rugby championship win, especially this year. As you mentioned, the only team without new coaching staff. Well, we've got a new attack coach, but the same coach there, the same World Cup winning players, experience there, double World Cup winning, defending champions. We've beaten New Zealand twice now. We're playing twice against them at home. Wallabies, we're playing, we got this little voodoo over us. We don't do well in Brisbane or whatever, but they're also a new team, new coaching staff that still needs to get used to everything. Obviously, they're going to be better than most people probably expect them to be, but you still expect South Africa to go ahead and beat these guys. Like, they just scraped over the line against Wales, although it was a better Welsh team. So I will not accept anything other than a rugby championship win, even though I know it's going to be tough, just considering all the stuff that is in our favor. Would you agree?
Yeah, I completely agree. And also, sorry, if you've made it this far, please hit that subscribe button. We do appreciate everything you guys do for us. But yeah, I do also feel that the Australian side, the Argentinian side, for me, should be we should absolutely hammer both of those teams. I don't care if it's in Australia, if it's in Argentina. There's one away, one at home against Argentina, so that's fine. We can hammer them both places. Australian one, like you said, new coaching staff. They still have to find a bit of continuity and a bit of chemistry between coaches and players. Players' chemistry is fine, but between coaches and players is just as important. And I felt that Australia let in a few very simple tries, very easy tries against Wales. Okay, we actually also did against
I was
Portugal.
just about to say, listen, that's the one thing we do as well.
Yeah, but when it comes to crunch games, I feel that they should treat every single game in this tournament as a playoff game, because that's when South Africa thrives the most.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we started off this year saying South Africa has to go unbeaten, or we have the opportunity to do that. I wanted to see that. Obviously, we won't have that, but I'm not dropping standards after one loss in a game where we had an extraordinary comeback. We can obviously, bleed new players in or get new players used to the system without having to change 15 players in a match. Like, that's not the point of rotation. That's just game time. Like, they're playing franchise level rugby. That does not matter. You have to get the likes of Sasha, have him play with the actual centers that will be playing outside him. That is something that I'm very strong about. And I even want to see it against Australia. I would love for Sasha to start one of these two games. That's in my opinion, because obviously we'll most likely see Andre starting both games against the All Blacks. So I don't want to see Sasha just start two games against Argentina playing with scrubs all over the field. I want to see him actually play test rugby with the actual boys that's going to partner him. Would you agree on that before we move on to the predicted lineup for this weekend?
Completely agree. You said it very well there. Yeah.
Okay. We going into finally getting to the actual topic of this video. Predicted lineup for that first match against the Wallabies. Is it in Brisbane? Is this the one in Brisbane, the first one?
Yeah.
Massive game. This is the place that we struggle. Obviously, Australia at the moment, the longest win streak in international rugby, which is I can't believe I'm saying that. But obviously that's 2 wins against Wales and then a win against Georgia. Did they get their final win in the World Cup as well? Is that four in a row? Yeah, but obviously I'm not focused too much on their win record, but they're undefeated under Joe Schmidt, and obviously they would have taken some confidence from getting a couple of wins on the board, even though it's against not great opposition. It is still something that builds confidence. So I'm expecting us to go full strength. Who are you going for in the 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, first, before you get there, our actual big win-loss ratio is at Sydney, not Brisbane. Sydney is where we struggle the most. I think last year at Sydney, we played against a weakened Australian side and still lost. So, but anyway, I think that a guy like Oxenchair is going to start. Frans Malherbe will start, and I think that it's going to be Malcolm Mark starting over Bongi. I'll get to that later when I get to my back three. Then you'll understand why I'm going Ox to start with Frans Malherbe and Malcolm Marx.
I thought you told me Malcolm Marx is injured.
Did I?
Yeah, that's what. Because I had a predicted lineup that I did on my personal channel. I didn't have Malcolm Marx in. I said Johan Grobler, and I put him on the bench. Because obviously with still that ACL niggle. Is Malcolm Marx in the squad? I can't remember.
No, I can't either. Actually, you're right. I'm going to change it then. I'm going to say Grobler starts.
Grobler starts?
Yes.
Okay, so I've got the same front three. Obviously, you have Bongi then on the bench, right? I've got...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I've just got it switched around. I think when you look at the system that we've played the whole time, Bongi and Ox and Malherbe, they'll probably still go with the same boys to start the game. I think I've got a feeling what you're doing out here. You went for the fetcher thing. That's why you spoke about that.
Correct.
Yeah, but that's the front three that I have. I think we'll probably agree on the tight five. Mostert is out, so we're expecting Eben to take that 4 jersey, and then obviously RG Snyman to take the 5. We in
Yeah,
agreement?
100%. I don't think nobody's gonna come even close to that. Obviously, Murat will be on the bench because he's, like we've established already, he's being put to be the next captain for the Springboks.
Yeah. Would you be surprised if we maybe see a Ruan Orkia?
I wouldn't, because the game against Australia suits a Ruan Orkia. I also wouldn't be surprised if a Salman Murat starts this first test as well, because we
But in
know
the
that,
5?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's gonna be a bit tricky, but I think that it's gonna be Mostert and Argia, but we mustn't be surprised that Murat gets a start or Norkia gets a start because, like I've said, this suits him to the T.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, but I think the way that Rassi will probably think is like Ruan Orkia is there for if something else happens to another lock. I don't think we'll see much of Ruan Orkia in this rugby championship, really, unless it's against Argentina at home, for instance, or something. So so we're going Eben Etzebeth and RG Snyman. I'll give you the floor for the loose trio because I want to hear what you're going in that 8th man position.
Okay, so I think that it's set in stone that I'll start at number 8. I think that Ulrich Lowe is going to be the 8, and Ulrich Lowe is going to be the trusted number 8 for the rest of the rugby championship. I think the experiment with Kwagga against the Irish was a big flop. We need the guy off the bench. I don't care. Every person in the world hates coming off the bench. But if you're so bloody good at coming off the bench and you suck starting, then I think it's set in stone that you are going to be coming off the bench. And then I'm going with Sia to start, obviously, because he's going to be our captain. And then I've got Peter Steph du Toit at 7, making 7,000 tackles.
Yeah, I've got Captain Rugby Sia Kulisi and Peter Steph to tackle in the 7 jersey. I wish Rassi thinks like you. I do not have that as my predicted lineup or my predicted 8. I think Rassi goes back to Kwagga Smith as the number 8. I think he starts once again. And now I'm saying this that it's predicted because I would not start Kwagga at all. If it was me, I'd go straight off, same as you. Ulrich Lowe gets the start. Obviously, I would have loved to have seen Evan Roos, but the guy's going under the needle now. Season done, end of the year. I don't know. Have you heard that news?
Yes, he's going under the knife, not under the needle. If you go under the needle, you're going for a steroids injection. If you go under the knife,
I mean,
well,
if the shoe fits, put it on. I mean,
probably both.
Yeah. Anyway, I would have gone with Ulrich Lowe as well. He was extraordinary, albeit it was just against Portugal. I would have loved to have seen him there. He deserves to have a spot in this Park lineup, but I'm thinking we go with Kwagga. And you think Kwagga is our only fetcher if you look at the starters. Is Johan Grobler a fetcher?
Yes, that's why I put him in my starting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, well, I don't have him. So Kwagga that's probably why they trust Kwagga with that number 8 jersey. Which makes our bench all of us like I've got a little twist and turn there on the bench that I think we might go with. Anyway, 9-10, who have you got?
Okay, so I think this is Kobus Reinach's ultimate chance to cement his spot in that team.
Yeah.
I'll be very surprised if they go with Grant Williams. So I'm going. My 9 and 10 will be. I've said this in the second Irish test as well. I think it's going to be Reinach and Sasha to start. Yes.
Well, you've kind of taken my shine there for the second test. I'm going with Grant and Sasha to start the second test. Like I've already got it played out in my head. But the first test, when you just want to secure the victory, get some confidence. I think we're going Reinach to start because I think it's going to be combination work. I don't think we'll see Reinach and Sasha play, and I don't think we'll see Grant and Andre play. Yeah, so I've got Reinach and Pollard to take the reins for the first test. We'll just milk penalties, try and bully them physically, and Andre just boots it. But we've seen Tony Brown coming out as well, literally saying what we said in a couple of previous pods, where it's like, we just want to see the old Andre Pollard in terms of attacking the game line. And the fact that the attacking coach has said that gives me some hope, gives me some confidence, where they've spoke to Andre and said, listen, you can't just sit there in the pocket and wait for something to happen. You actually have to try and create something, which tells you that if he doesn't do that, he's got a short string because Sasha's right on his heels. Like, which that makes me happy.
I'm changing my two. I'm going Pollard still coming off the bench, and I'm starting Mani Lebok, and I'll explain to you a little bit later. So I'm going with Reinach and Mani Lebok.
So no Sasha.
I said I'll explain later. Let's go with Mani.
Okay.
With Reinach.
I see what you're doing. We might go a little different formation on the bench. Is that what we're doing? Anyway, we in total disagreement over there. But I mean, fair enough. Centers, that's pretty easy. It's going to be Damien and it's going to be Jesse Krill. I'm obviously finding form. We saw it in the latter ends of the URC. Played well against Portugal, but you can't, even though you could be the best outside center in the world at the moment and still be behind Jesse Krill. Like, Jesse Krill has not put a single foot wrong. Has Jesse Krill played less than 8 to even an 8.5 game out of 10 for you since he's returned? Before the
since that French game, I feel like Jesse Krill's been the best in the world. And I promise you, if anybody knows me, you'll know that I've been the biggest anti-Jesse Krill person in the world. I've never considered him a Springbok in my life. I thought his brother Dan was better than him. But since that French game, there's no one better in the world than Jesse Krill.
Yeah, even though you say he became the best outside center then, when he came in when got injured, he just fit into this system like a glove. Like, he just upped his game so much. Like, I've never seen someone get into a team that's been there for years but has always been shit, come back in and absolutely play the world on fire. Like, that's just the type of rugby he plays at the moment. And it's so consistent. Like, he just feels like the most reliable guy in the world at the moment. I'm pretty sure we're in agreement with the back three as well. No need to go into real depth with that.
Maybe we not.
Colby Arendse-Willie?
No, I'm going Colby Arendse. Sasha. That's why.
Oh my word! You have caught me off guard. You think Rassi's doing that as well?
I think so, because look against Ireland when Willie got injured. I don't think Willie is 100% yet from his concussion. I don't think it would be wise to throw him in the deep end and start a test match away from home after just being cleared from a concussion, your second concussion in 2 months. I don't even think Willie is in the starting lineup. In the match day 23 for this first test.
But don't you think it's more likely that we see Fassi at fullback with Sasha on the bench to cover more than one position?
That'll be risky. Why would you put a B grade fullback in your starting lineup in a test away from home against a very unpredictable Australian team? Why would you do that?
I don't know. Sasha doesn't really play fullback. Why would you play Sasha at fullback then?
Because he played very well against the second best side in the world in Ireland, against Ireland. So I think
New Zealand is second best. Don't get it wrong, Brett.
I think Sasha starts at fullback.
Yeah, possibly. I'm still going Willie. I just think it's Willie and Rassie has got that type of relationship where it's like, okay, Willie, if you got a concussion yesterday, are you still concussed? No, you're playing today. Like, if it's the day after, that's just the type of relationship that I can see them having. I do agree. If Vili is obviously not available, that's the whole thing with the predicted lineup. We predict that Vili will be fine because obviously that's 4 weeks after he's got concussed then. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be fine for this test. Moving on to the bench now, obviously, we might have different benches now because our predicted lineup is totally different. So are you fixed on Sasha starting in that 15 jersey then?
I am indeed.
Okay. So first and foremost, what's your split then on the bench?
5-3.
5-3 split with Sasha and Marnie starting, right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. You've got a wild thing out here. I would have thought if you do that in the second test, if you've blitzed the Wallabies maybe in the first one, you do. I'm excited. You've actually got me smiling here. Well, obviously, I've got Johan Grobler at 16. You've got Bongi, right?
Yes.
And
I have Bongi, Gerard Steenekamp, and Thomas the Toy.
No Vinny.
No.
Oh my word. Never. Vincent Koch is in every. He's like the Quagga Smith from the bench, right? Even though if you have a better prop, you don't play a better prop than Vincent Koch from the bench. Impact, baby.
Fortunately, this is my prediction.
Yeah. Your prediction is wrong. You know Rassi is going to go for Vincent Koch. Anyway, I would love to see Thomas du Toit, by the way. I've got no qualms with playing Thomas du Toit. On form, you should probably even start, okay?
Yes.
You should probably even start over Frans Malherbe, who we've been criticizing for the past couple of weeks. Anyway, obviously Salman Murat in the 19 jersey.
Correct.
Okay. Now this is where I switched it up a bit because obviously against Ireland we played 2 lock replacements. I don't want to see 2 lock replacements. I went for a 6-2 split, by the way. I've gone saucy. I've gone Ben Jason Dixon to take my second lock / Lucy spot on the bench. So if something was to happen with Eben or Ergia, then obviously Murat comes on. But then if something was to happen with the back 3, Ben Jason Dixon could slot into that 7 jersey. And if we wanted to, because I heard we thought about experimenting with maybe even putting Pieter-Steph du Toit as the 8th man because he's played there in Japan, then obviously Ben Jason Dixon slots in so smoothly into that number 7 jersey. So I've gone with Ben Jason Dixon to kind of be he should actually be a player 21 that covers 2 positions. Yeah, what have you done?
I've gone obviously with that front 3, and then I've gone Murat, and my last forward on the bench I've got Quagga Smith, obviously.
Wait, sorry. So you've got Murat, Quagga,
and then the front 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my 5 forwards.
So no Marco van Staden.
No,
I'm surprised. Well, obviously, Marco van Staden is my other replacement to come on for Sia at 45 minutes. Literally the first sub that we always make. Who will obviously be the fetcher when he comes on as well. So you know my bench. I'll just give you the floor. Mine is Grant Williams and Sasha coming from the bench and I want to see this at about 60 minutes, 55 to 60 minutes, done and dusted. Give me your explanation with your back 3 because I'm sure this is going to be wild.
So mine's obviously Grant Williams. Grant Williams will be there to cover scrum off, obviously, and if need be, can cover wing. Then I have Andre Pollard to come off the bench to potentially save the game if it comes down to kicking. And then I've gone with somebody that's been knocking, and we mentioned him just now. I think Lacanio Am is player 23.
Oh my word. Oh, but if there's a wing that gets injured, Am's going to play on the wing. We've seen him play.
He'll go to center, and Jesse Creel will go to wing.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Either way, both of them have played on the wing before.
Yes.
You know, I would do wonderful things to see that team of yours actually playing. Like we've spoken about it before. I would not be surprised if we see that exact thing against Australia, the second test, or against Argentina, especially at home.
Yeah.
But my question to you is, now, not who you want to see, but who do you think Rassi will give the kicking reins to in that game? Does he trust Mani to say, listen, build your confidence as the 10, because obviously you still might be the first choice? Or do you just say, okay, Mani, listen, you're not going to kick because you kick for shit. It's going to be Sasha.
No, so Mani will 100% kick, and I'll tell you why. Because he's not going to have the very, very hardcore South African fans that don't potentially like him going to boo him. Because that's what we do as South African fans. Apparently, we boo our kickers if we don't like them. So it's going to be away from home. There might be 50 people in the crowd that are South African. Okay, not that little, but I mean, you know what I'm saying. And then those fans are more excited to see South Africa play, that they're not going to be booing Mani Lebok while he's kicking for goal.
Yeah,
so,
but don't you think like the Australians will know he's a bit vulnerable when it comes to his kicking, and
No.
they'll jump onto him?
Less pressure, like almost no pressure. You tell yourself in your mind, like even me when I play at home, you can't miss a kick at home. It's not allowed to happen. You cannot miss a kick at home. And whether the crowd boos you, they're booing you because they want their team to do well, not because you're vulnerable. So so I don't think that's a concern at all. I think the fact that it's away from home, Mani takes over the kicking reins, and he does well.
Would you give him the kicking reins as well for that game?
Yes.
I just want to like kind of experiment how he would play if you took all that kicking pressure off of him. Like if you told him, listen, you're going into this game and you're just playing as a creative 10. We're going to give Sasha the role, the kicking role, and you just go out there and you play some exciting rugby. I just want to see what he'd do. Because obviously we've seen it before where if he kicks bad, it kind of affects his game as well.
Yes.
And I don't want that to happen. Where if you give it to Sasha, Mani knows as long as I get that ball at first receiver, I can create magic. I mean that's kind of just what I want to see. I would love to see your team run out.
I hear you, but as the fly half, you just have that psychological edge when you think to yourself, I'm not just here as a 10, like Stephen Larkham was for Australia. You are there as the general, the kicker, the everything. It's the responsibility that you crave as a 10. So if I play 10 and I'm not kicking well and the coach shouts, give the tee to somebody else, that's when my game falls. That's when I think.
But if you know beforehand, listen, okay, we want you to just relax. If you have a whole week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks even built up where you know you're not going to be the kicker, they're just trying to delegate your responsibility. Surely you adapt to that and you kind of say you make peace with the situation. It's different where if you struggle on the field and then they rip the duties off you, because then it's like, okay, so you don't back me anymore. Well, now it's like, okay, so you don't back me anymore, but okay, I've got time to get over it. Maybe it's a good thing. I can just focus on the game. That's kind of the perspective that I see it playing out as. But anyway,
I get you. But seeing that in my starting lineup, I have Sasha at the back. I would still start Mani as the starting kicker, and hope he gets the first 3 from close range, that he can just get that confidence up. Because then the long distance kicks, the side kicks don't really matter anymore. And then
he kicks better from the side than in front of the post.
Exactly, yeah. That's why I'm saying it. And then from 50 meters and beyond, give Sasha the tee. Let him kick those long range kicks. So in that, by doing that, you give both of them the same amount of confidence, or backing each player's kicking abilities.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, we can wrap it up. Did you want to add anything else, or are you fine to call it?
I'm happy, and do you think that we're going to see a 5-3 or a 6-2, the one staying?
Just because I like your team so much, well, I think we can still play your team with the 6-2 split. If you just take out Lucanio Am and you add Marco van Staden, obviously, on the bench. So I think our plan is always set in stone with the 6-2, unless we play against I wouldn't want to say weaker teams, but let's say against the likes of Argentina, I wouldn't be surprised if we go 5-3 split. I think for the first 4 tests, all of them will be 6-2, but I would love to see that combination of yours in terms of us backing Mani a bit in that 10 jersey, because we know how good he can be. In terms, like, obviously Sasha's still only 21, but if you take a mixture of experience and talent and flair and the way that it fits into the system, Mani is probably our best 10. Like, it just fits the system like a glove. Anyway, let's wrap it up. Thank you everyone for watching. As always, we do love and appreciate you guys. Brett, as always, thank you for joining. Please do remember to like and subscribe, and we will see you on Wednesday. Thank you.
Okay, bye.